Hey YouTube, what is going on? We are back once again for some awesome WWE coverage as it is night two of a very busy weekend with yours truly. So Friday night came on live, was talking about the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Thank those of you that had checked that out. And if you missed it, well, honestly, when you get done with this, you can actually piggy on back and check it out as it's respectfully on our channel and over at our good friend's channel at Epic Sports. So we are talking tonight's WWE NXT TakeOver Fallout as it came to us from Orlando, Florida. Love to hear from you guys for the next little bit. I'm not going to try to have this show be as long as what we did last night because honestly, I want to get my rest because tomorrow is the big day, Wrestlemania. Want to kindly remind you all, we are in the final hour plus of our 2016 RCWR Show Awards that you can enter right now. Take part in it, cast your vote, number of votes up for grabs. You can choose who you felt had the match of the year, who had the best entrance, best newcomer, worst song of the year, you name it, you pick it. Really fun categories, and there's a lot of cool prizes that's up for grabs. We're going to announce the bottom winners on our WrestleMania after show. So make sure you tune in for that. You'll be able to catch that simulcast live here on YouTube and over on Spreaker.com. And the top winners will be announced on Tuesday's RCWR show that you can catch 10 p.m. Eastern as soon as SmackDown goes off the air on the East Coast. So, man, let's go ahead. Let's talk about this NXT TakeOver event. I always look forward to NXT TakeOver because I know it's going to be a home freaking run. There has yet to be an NXT TakeOver that made me go, man, I'm like disappointed. It didn't quite live up to what I hoped it was going to be. Always hits a home run. Got to give Triple H, his production team, a lot of credit because they always deliver when it comes to these takeover events, man. Hey, make sure you haven't done so already. Share this, like it, Facebook it, retweet it, all that good jazz, man. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's talk about some of these matches that we had got. Oh, wait. There was a little something called the pre-show, right? Let's talk about this pre-show in a nutshell. So we had Carly Caruso, beautiful, just stunning, as always a beautiful sight to behold. We had, who was the other guy? Nigel McGuinness, he was there. And we had Sam Roberts. Man, I tell you, when I was watching this pre-show, I literally felt like I was watching paint dry. I literally felt like that. And I'm saying that respectfully because no disrespect to Caruso. Caruso is awesome. She's vibrant. The energy is there. I mean, it almost matches that of Renee Young. But I really felt like for this particular pre-show, I really felt as though her energy was pretty low. I really didn't feel as though she was really able to bring it the way she normally brings it. You go to Nigel McGuinness, and anybody that's been a long time fan of Nigel McGuinness, especially following his commentating career in ROH, knows that he's not exactly, when it comes to color commentating, he's not exactly, Mamma Mia! He doesn't have any of that going on. He's pretty reserved, very restrained energy. Even when he smiles, it's kind of like he's forcing it, if you will. So you're kind of like, so he really wasn't quite. I actually prefer him covering the UK tournament, and whenever they're going to launch this UK show, I honestly would prefer he does that, but I understand WWE's standpoint. Look, we signed this guy to a contract. Let's start utilizing him properly. Where can we put him? So I understand, but man, his energy was kind of like, ugh. And then Sam Roberts. Look, man, I got nothing but love for Sam Roberts. I almost kind of had epiphany. It came to me when I was watching this pre-show. Anybody remember Kill Bill Volume 2? Anybody remember David Carradine's character? In particular, the scene towards the end of the movie where he talks about how Superman is like the greatest comic book character like of all time, and he breaks down the Superman mythology, and basically he talks about the whole Clark Kent, and how basically it's Superman that is putting on this Clark Kent gimmick, basically giving his interpretation of how he sees humans. I won't put any more out there if y'all never saw that, but you need to go out of your way, maybe here on YouTube or I don't know, Daily Motion or whatever. Check it out. You all will kind of see where I'm going with this, but kind of keeping that in mind. I swear to God, I now think I understand why Sam Roberts was hired. I think one of the reasons why he was hired is because over the years, yes, respectfully, when it comes to him and his show, he's always interviewing wrestlers. People aren't necessarily tuning in for Sam, they're tuning in for the celebrities that he's interviewing, right? So I believe that's part of the main attraction for sure. But then I swear to God, if I were a betting man, I swear Vince McMahon and crew, maybe even Triple H to a certain extent, maybe they are looking at Sam Roberts and they're kind of going, well, you know what? Honestly, when it comes to the WWE fans, they're marks. They're typically geeks. And I got to tell you, every single time I see Sam Roberts doing the whole damn pre-show, it's always, well, gee willikers, part of WWE Universe. I mean, that's honestly how it comes off, right down to the point. And I didn't think nothing much of it, but now that I'm saying this, you all pay attention going forward. Anytime he's on the pre-show and he's trying to make some type of point, usually if he's matched up with somebody that was a wrestler, or maybe somewhat currently still is a wrestler, they always correct him, and they correct him in such a way, like tonight was a good example. One point, Nigel McGuinness, he says point blank to Sam Roberts, well, you never been in the ring before, Sam, so you don't know. And I'm kind of like, damn. And I just kind of looked at that. There was like a lot of instances tonight. I'm not over analyzing. You just would have had to watch the pre-show and you would have actually kind of came to your own conclusion, like, damn, is this how WWE really kind of interprets the typical WWE fan that, like, honestly, they casually go check out the wrestling forums, they participate in Reddit wrestling chats or Facebook chats, Twitter chats? Like, is this how they're kind of interpreting the fans? Is this how they truly see the fans? And I swear, just the way, and now look, I know Sam can't really be truly the way he wants to be when he's respectfully on his shows and all that. He's got to dummy down. That's the term I can use, dummy down. You probably have heard that if you watched All in the Family a lot, or some of your other favorite shows, or maybe you had a granddad, or maybe your dad even said that to you at some point. Hey, dummy down. So I wouldn't be surprised if, to a certain extent, when they offered him the deal that they offered him, if one of the things that they told him was, you're going to have to kind of dummy down a little bit, but he just really comes off so freaking gullible. I can't be totally mad at the guy, because at the end of the day, look, man, he's in a really great position. He's getting paid by the WWE. I'm not hating in any type of way, but sometimes I'm just kicking back and I'm just watching poor Sam and I'm going, you poor son of a bitch. It sucks that you gotta dummy down like that, man. Seriously. I don't know. For you guys, respectfully, I don't know. Me, I don't think I could dummy down like that, even if the price is right. I don't think I could personally do that. I'd be like, come on, man, you gotta let me have some of my personality shine through. Pre-show was the drizzling, though. Go to the actual card itself, and let's kick it off. So we had Sanity's Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Nikki Cross. There was some footage that was shown from earlier in the day. We had No Way Jose. He was interacting with the fans, and Sanity actually came down. I mean, this was hours before TakeOver had went down tonight. They beat the holy crap out of No Way Jose. They pretty much had shelved that guy, honestly, and it was like really bad. William Regal, he basically was like, hey, Ty Dillinger, look, man, I know what went down with your boy, No Way Jose, but something's going to have to happen, man. Like, either you're going to be involved in some type of a handicap tag match, or you're able to go find yourself a partner, man. Sorry. I know we put you in a bad spot, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. So go out there. That's the best I can do. My hands are tied. So we see Sanity's members all coming out. We saw Ty Dillinger. He came out. We saw Ruby Riot, aka Heidi Lovelace. She popped up. We saw Roderick Strong, and somebody that we had heard had re-signed with the WWE, but we hadn't seen him in the WWE in a good minute. It was great seeing him come back. Almost did not recognize him until they did an actual close-up of his face because he got a lot bigger. I'm not making fun of him in any type of way, so don't get it twisted, folks. But he's gotten a lot bigger since the last I had saw him. I saw sporadic appearances of him here and there on the independent circuit, and I mean, he got even bigger. He still got a little ways to go, but I'm talking about Chris Hero, or as he is now back in the WWE, he's now readopted the name Cassius Ono. Was it just me, or did he come out looking like a Baltimore Ravens defensive tackle lineman, man? I mean, seriously, I like first look, I'm like, who's the football player? Then when they kind of did the close up, I'm like, oh no, I actually said, oh no, meaning, hey, that's oh no. But I was like, oh no, okay, hey, it's Chris Hero, awesome. So that was nice seeing him come back. He really did not get that much of a pop from the crowd. It was almost kind of like they had to stop and marinate and kind of think about like, who is this guy exactly? But I love that opener for NXT TakeOver tonight. It was a really solid matchup. It was a 8-person mixed tag team match. Love that. Let's go towards, I don't know. Let's go ahead. Let's go towards the finish to that match, respectfully. So towards the end, we saw Dillinger. One point during this match, he actually was denied getting the hot tag, but eventually we did see him get in the hot tag to start unloading on Insanity members. Ty cleared the ring, dropped Wolf with a big DDT, made the fans pop. They were really into this. This was a good placement for the opener, by the way. Really had enjoyed the crowd's energy, a lot of enthusiasm. Got to say, throughout the entire night, they definitely were representing. 9 times out of 10, this is going to be the same audience at WrestleMania, less than 24 hours. I hope that energy that they brought tonight, that it's even amplified like times 10, assuming that the wrestlers that's going to be on that respected card come out and they do respectfully what they need to do. By the way, we're going to play a drinking game tonight. We're going to pay attention to how many times I say the word respectfully, because my God, as long as I have been doing this show, and I've come a long way since 2011, and any podcaster or radio host will tell you there's like do's and don'ts. And the big don'ts is never be on the air saying like, you know, those are like the big no-nos. So this hasn't happened in a long time, but apparently during the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, just to go back a little bit, I stopped after a while because my girl came in and she's like, come on, let's go do something else. Let's go do something fun. But I actually was playing back the stream, and like some of the comments that were coming in via Epic Sports, they were like, dude, what the hell is up with you saying that word? I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, you're spamming the hell out of the word. I'm like, say what? So I went in and like in the first 40 goddamn minutes, I used that word a total of 20 times. 20 freaking times. And so basically, I'm a good sport. I picked fun of myself. I made fun of myself. I said, man, you know what? Going into the 2018 WWE Legacy Wing for next year, it's going to be that word, respectfully. So I had to share that story with y'all, because when I saw the comments, I was like, really, really? And I had a hearty laugh, especially when I went back and I heard the audio myself. I'm like, wow, I actually did spam the hell out of that word. So we're going to see tonight how well that I do now that it officially begins. Every time I say that word, I want you all, you got to drink or something. And this game is going to continue going into WrestleMania. Every time I say that word, I'm going to be drinking. You know, I got a fake drink for now, but I'll have the real thing in about less than 24 hours. And I want you all to have a drink as well every time I say that from now going into the end of our WrestleMania after show. So anyway, let's pick it up with regards to that matchup. So we saw Ty, he tried to go for a top rope maneuver with a crossbody on Wolf, then a dive to the floor on Eric Young. Dane comes from behind, nails Ty as the crowd begins to boo. Strong nails them, but Wolf climbs up from behind. Ono runs through the ropes, lands on his feet as Wolf moves. And really kind of pick it up towards the end. We saw Eric Young. He took out Roderick Strong on the floor. Nikki did a drop kick to Ruby on the floor. Dane turns around, scooped up Ty Dillinger. Wolf ended up missing the save, stopping the tiebreaker. Dane scoops up Ty, plants him in the middle of the ring for a 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was just an insane freaking opener. But I gotta tell you, as far as like who like really stood out to me in this match in particular, I gotta tell you, even though he was getting the chance, shave your back, shave your back, shave your back, I gotta be honest, man, I was loving the hell out of Damian O'Connor, aka what's his name? Oh, damn it, Killian Dane. I was really, really feeling this guy. I mean, for a big dude, this man was moving real cat-like. I have not seen a guy with that much weight move that fast, so agile at that. Not since really the days of Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, I was really, really taken back by this dude. Maybe Earthquake as well. I mean, this dude is big. If you didn't check out TakeOver tonight, you got to go back and you got to check out this match. It was a really good opener, man. Really love the hell out of that. Great spots by Killian, man. I mean, the guy was just doing, you know how when Kevin Owens gets in there and he does those back moon drops on his opponent or whatever, he like bounces off of the ropes and he pretty much just throws his back on them. I mean, he was doing insane stuff like that. He was doing drop kicks. I mean, big man could freaking move. I was really, really pleased with my man. Ty Dillinger still looks good. I see he still has the crowd behind him. I know there's a lot of you guys that check out the NXT promotion like every single week faithfully. Let's be honest, there's many weeks where the NXT brand, it'll just be dragging. So like for me personally, I like actually stopping for a little bit. Like I'll usually watch about maybe 2 episodes after about 4 or 5 weeks just to see how everything has been playing out. And then if it's like, oh, okay, I need to kind of get caught up to speed, then I'll actually binge for a little bit. But sometimes for me personally, I kind of find it's nice to just kind of like wait a couple of weeks, then come back in, see what's going on with NXT and everything. And I got to tell you, Ty Dillinger, he is just continuing to come along very well. If you remember on this very show, a couple of months back, I told you guys, I said, quite honestly, the way Ty Dillinger is moving right now, how he's just moving up the ranks there respectfully, have a drink, on NXT, I personally would love to see him be in a position where eventually he feuds with Bobby Roode for the NXT title. I think that would just be such an instant classic matchup because I feel in my heart of hearts, without a doubt, the time is going to come where Bobby Roode, he's much going to be needed on SmackDown or Raw. And when that time comes, NXT for sure has to be in really great hands. And I think there's no other person quite capable, more qualified to be in that position of being the face of NXT than Ty Dillinger. So if you ask me once again, Lee, where do you see that NXT championship going? Honestly, look, we know matter of time. Nakamura, he's going to get the call up. That's just a matter of time. We know Roode eventually. You got to capitalize on Roode. But for now, so much great foundation is being laid out for this guy. I'm loving it right now. I'm loving what they're doing with Roode. But yes, Ty Dillinger, he is in the perfect position right now. He's going to be the one to take that title off of Bobby Roode. That's just my gut instincts. I'm not a betting man, but if I were to bet, my money is on that. That is going to be the one to take the title off of Roode when it's all said and done. But great opener to tonight's NXT TakeOver event. Keep in mind, we only have 5 matches, no pre-shows. There are no pre-show matches, mind you. Not even a dark match before the takeover event. So keep that in mind. We only had like 5 minutes. I said 5 minutes. We only had 5 matches, and a lot of these matches were given some really great storyline, as far as the in-ring wrestling psychology. Everything was on point. Everything made a lot of sense in all of these matches that we saw, man. Let's go to our next matchup. It was the debut of Aleister Black taking on Andrade Almas. I gotta tell you, and shout out to my occasional broadcast partner, my bestie, evil genius of professional wrestling, Titus Machiavelli. We both were like in the same position when we saw Aleister Black come out. Like, who the hell is this guy? And I'm first looking at him and I'm saying to my girl, because she's watching it with me, I'm going, damn, this guy almost looks like Heath Slater, only taller, bulkier, darker hair. And he just decided he wanted to go on a tattoo spree and get a bunch of tattoos on his body. But he had such a menacing look about him. I'm like, this dude's pretty... okay, he's got my attention. Let me see what this guy is about. I'm kind of getting the Baron Corbin vibe, and I say Baron Corbin in a good way. Baron Corbin, like, appearance-wise, but something like, wait a minute, there's something kind of special about this. I was kind of in that position, and I know it when I first lay eyes on a person. I can usually kick back. Many years I've been watching wrestling. I can usually kick back and go, I smell money. So I'm looking at this guy. I'm going, I'm getting that itch. I'm going, I think I might see some money here. Let me see what's going on with this dude. And first thing I do, I go right on Google and I'm like, okay, who is this guy? I need to know everything I need to know about this guy. So for a lot of you all that maybe didn't do the research, but I'm gonna have you hook up. This guy was going by the name Tommy End. And he's been mainly on the independent circuit, believe it or not, since 2002, right on up until, honestly, last year. And he's mainly been tearing it up with the Insane Championship promotion, Pro Wrestling Revolution. Let me flip that. Revolution Pro Wrestling, Extreme Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. He did some work for as well. But yeah, he's just been tearing it up over there. And it was actually back June of last year that he had got signed to the WWE, and he reported to the Performance Center shortly after that. So, I mean, guy's 31 years of age, so still a relatively young guy. As far as the people that had trained him, Chris Hero had a part in training him, Johnny Kidd, Nigel McGuinness. So, and it was interesting because during the pre-show, Nigel did prelude to how long exactly he's known Tommy End and everything. And it was actually kind of nice hearing Sam. I will say that there was a nice part where they were talking about Tommy, Aleister Black, and they were referring to his earlier incarnation before he became the character that he is right now in the WWE. So it was a nice, good backdrop. But yeah, I saw this guy come out. I'm like, man, this guy, damn, I kind of smell money off this guy. And for him to come in there, my man has such a freaking awesome, unique offense. For you guys that watch NXT, was that an amazing move set that Black had? Or was that not like, I'm just watching this guy in the ring. And shout out to, oh God, what's the other guy? Shout out to Almas. I mean, he's coming along, is he not? I really was not feeling his outfit tonight. I was saying to my girl, suddenly I got like the craving for ice cream because my man came out and he's looking like the fucking Good Humor Man. And I'm just going, seriously, of all the outfits you can wear, I know we're trying to go like for this good versus evil, but do you really have to come out with these tight-ass white clothes looking like the Good Humor Man that, my precious little girl, hello, what would you like? I know what you want. You want a snow cone, don't you? You want a snow cone? You want a snow cone? How about some Italian ice? You want some Italian ice? I mean, I was expecting him to bust it out like that. That's how he looked. I mean, I had all that. I wasn't even overanalyzing the hell out of that. I'm just looking at this. And just out of nowhere, you know what song came to my mind as I'm watching him come down the ring? Van Halen, Ice Cream. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. Oh, yeah, I never stop. I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I'm passing by. You see, all my flavors are guilty to satisfy. I love that song. You gotta look that song up if you don't know about that damn song. But anyway, so he comes on out there, and you're just like, all right, good humor, man. Let's see what happens here. But when Aleister Black comes out, you're like, okay, pull up a chair. This dude, such a unique freaking offense. I mean, this guy, I'm just picturing down the road, and I put this out on Twitter. I'm like, this guy's gonna have like a classic freaking feud with Shinsuke Nakamura if these two ever lock it up. I mean, talk about two versions of strong style wrestling that would complement the hell out of each other. I mean, this guy has such a unorthodox move set. I mean, it was mainly like, from his standpoint, it was like striking, and Almas was doing a good job countering those strikes. It definitely did not feel like a lucha libre type of high flying match that we're almost kind of accustomed to seeing Almas do typically. I mean, he was really complimenting the hell out of Black, really doing a good job putting this young man over. But I got to tell you, the way the match had ended, I loved it. I mean, from the series of kicks, this Black dude, he is tall. And I say that for a reason, because he's got some serious reach when he goes for his kicks. I mean, you think Shinsuke's got some serious reach. This guy was just like with ease. I mean, just throwing it up, and them kicks was just going to the temple of the head of Almas. I mean, that pretty much was mainly the gist of what we had saw towards the finish. He was just doing flurry of kicks. And at one point, Almas hits the ground, and the commentators, they're like, oh, this is it. Almas, he how can he continue? This guy looks like he's out of it. And I like how my man Black just pretty much picks up Almas's head by the chin with the heel of his boot. He just goes in that way and pretty much guides him up to stand on his 2 feet, and then wham, kicks him in the head again and got the 1, 2, 3 that way. I mean, it was such a badass finish, and I say badass in a good way. You got to go back and you got to check out this dude. This dude, I'm telling you, you all will agree with me and Titus when you watch this guy. This guy's got some freaking money. This guy's got some freaking money. You guys will really love this dude. I see a bright future ahead of this dude, though. Glad that WWE was able to sign this dude, man. Really awesome. We got 3 more matches to talk about. I'll talk about this next matchup, then I'll take a quick pause to give you guys some friendly reminders. So we had the Authors of Pain, Akeem and Razor, taking on DIY and the Revivals, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. It was a triple threat elimination match for the NXT tag titles. Love this. I had made fun of I needed a good laugh, so I looked at Paul Ellering as he was accompanying the Authors of Pain, and I said to my girl, I said, oh yeah, I forgot Christopher Daniels had signed with the WWE and he's managing the Authors of Pain. And she goes, really? I said, yeah. So she looks and she goes, oh my God, that's Daniels? He's gotten so old. Did TNA do that to him? And I said, no. I said, that's not really Christopher Daniels. That's Paul Ellering. And she was like, my God, but he looks just like Christopher Daniels. I'm going, no. It's not. Trust me, it's not. It's Paul Ellering. So that was a nice hearty laugh that I had right there. I enjoyed this matchup. This was almost like match of the year caliber type of wrestling that we got here. I love the storytelling that went into this. It was nice that, like, for the first time ever, we basically saw DIY and the Revival. They're kind of like coming to an agreement. Okay, you know what? If we maybe work together and we take out the Authors of Pain, that'd be sweet, because it would guarantee that between the two of us, one of us is going to walk away as the new tag team champion. So we saw a little bit of an alliance for a minute. It really didn't last that long, but I tell you, they was going to work on Authors of Pain, and the crowd was just eating this up. I mean, it almost kind of felt like anyone but you, Roman. That's exactly how freaking the crowd was acting. I mean, every single time you saw AOP on the offense, they were getting booed big time. I mean, they were almost getting like that Roman Reigns heat. That's literally how it was coming off. And to the point, I actually had put a tweet out. I was asking folks, like, what did you all like really feel about the Authors of Pain? How y'all really liking them? And I just want to share with you all some of the results that's coming in right now. I basically had put out like 2 polls for NXT tonight. One of them definitely was, what did you all think about the NXT TakeOver event overall? So right now, as it stands, we have 9% of you that feel AOP are the drizzling you know what. Meanwhile, there's 13% of you that feel they freaking suck. 33% of you feel they are average. And right now, just by a slight margin with the lead, 45% of you feel they are awesome. If you disagree with any of those results so far, you're more than welcome to go cast your vote. It's on our Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there as well at the RCWR show. But yeah, we saw a little bit of a brief alliance there that came about with DIY and the Revival, and they tried their damnedest to tag team on the Authors of Pain, but it just was not working, man. It just was not working. There were so many good, well-placed spots that was happening in this match. The one spot that really jumps out in my mind, I loved how at one point we had one of the AOP members, they were out of the ring because they basically had got put through a table, and the other AOP member, he's in the middle of the ring. You got Johnny freaking Wrestling. He's applying a submission hold. Tommaso Ciampa, he's at the other end. He's got actually, no, correction. One of the Revival guys, he's at the end of that AOP member, that by the legs area, and he's applying a submission hold. And then you got the other 2 guys, they're outside of the ring, and they're trying to make sure that like that AOP member in the middle of the ring taps out. But eventually we saw the other AOP, he gets in there. He was able to break up that submission hold, made the fans just go, oh, what the hell? And they just were booing the hell out of that. I'm telling you, I was loving this. I was eating this up. I really, really was. And I got to tell you, it's been a couple of weeks since I had checked in with AOP, and they're coming along. Still a bit green, but they're coming along. And I love the story that was being told in this match, quite honestly. Basically, the story that was being told was, look, AOP is going into this match at a disadvantage because you got these 2 tag teams that's teaming up to take them out. And you know what? That's exactly the type of story that you really should be telling, because you see these big 6'6", like maybe 400 plus pounds, like together, right? You see these guys coming down to the ring, and you're like, shh. And you looking at the other guys, you're like, nah, these guys don't really stand a chance. So yeah, the ring psychology is probably going to be, yeah, these teams are probably going to put aside their differences and they're going to try to tag team on these guys. So that was a great story that was being told. The finish to the match, honestly, let's pick it up a little bit. We did see a elimination. This match went about almost 25 minutes long, by the way. So it took about at least maybe, I would say, probably up to about the little bit over the 11-minute mark, I want to say, is when we finally saw an elimination. And the first team to get eliminated, if I'm not mistaken, oh God, it was DIY. They had got eliminated, and the fans booed the hell out of that. They were not feeling that whatsoever, but they were kind of like, well, you know what? We still got the Revival. We can still do this. We can still do this. So you just heard unanimous chants for the Revival. Now, again, every single time AOP was on the offense, they were getting heckled. Closing moments of the match, we had Saul right after DIY got eliminated. The fans were chanting bullshit. Authors, they double teamed on Dash Wilder. Revival tried to fight off a double team and hit one of their own in the process. They hit the assisted German suplexes. That only had got a 2 count. Authors turn it back around. They go for the last chapter, but Dash had managed to derail that. This pretty much had led to a close 2 count by Dawson. Dawson got dropped. Authors hit power bombs on the Revival at the same time, and they stand tall as the fans begin to boo. Dawson gets beat up, barely able to continue. Dawson gets a close 2 count once again on Razor out of nowhere. Authors of Pain ended up bringing the Revival back into the ring, and they connected with the Super Collider to pick up the W, and they got booed the hell out of that arena, man. I mean, that was just like, I loved it. I loved that whole match. If you ask me if that was like match of the year caliber type of action that we had got tonight, I got to tell you, I really was not disappointed with that matchup. That was a damn good tag team elimination match. I thoroughly had enjoyed that. We got 2 more matches to talk about. Want to take this time. Thank you guys for checking out the stream. Want to kindly remind you that less than 24 hours, going to be doing this again, man. We're going to be doing the WrestleMania after show. That's going to be live here on YouTube and also on Spreaker. So make sure you check that bad boy out. Enter our RCWR show awards contests. Got some really cool prizes up for grabs. We got a video that's here on the channel letting you all know how you can enter. You can actually see all the cool prizes that's up for grabs. So make sure you enter that. You got until, well, right now you got until 11:59 p.m. Eastern. But you know what? I mean, it's pretty much going into WrestleMania. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to actually extend it a little bit more for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually extend it to 3 p.m. April 2nd. I'm extended to April 2nd, 3 p.m. Eastern. That'll be your deadline. At least that way, that finally gives me enough time to not only tally up the results, but I can also figure out who the bottom winners are going to be and all that. Because I hadn't noticed a little bit of a surge, honestly, in the last, I want to say 36 hours. So I'm actually going to continue to go ahead and let that stay open for you guys. And if you like what I do, make sure you subscribe. Check out what I do for y'all each and every single week. And I hope you can actually become my Patreon, because by becoming my Patreon member, I bring a lot of exclusive content to you guys on a monthly basis. A lot of cool bonus shows like our 30 with Lee series. That's always twice a month, covering current movies that's maybe out in the theaters or some nice throwback movies. Check out all the cool perks. And if you got any questions, any concerns, you can hit me up all throughout social media. You can check it out at patreon.com/RCWR show. Let's continue on. We got 2 more matches. Let's go out strong, shall we? So, probably one of my most anticipated matches. I love both of these girls. Asuka taking on Amber Moon for the NXT Women's title. Man, long time coming, man. I tell you, I have really enjoyed the hell out of Amber Moon. She has really come along. I remember this girl when she was wrestling on the independent circuit as Athena. That's how far back I go with her. And it's nice to see that she finally got to the WWE, because when I was checking her out many years back in the mid-late 2000s, I was like, nah, this girl's got something. This girl's got something. And just to see where she is now, it's been a hell of a ride. I really, really enjoyed the hell out of her evolution and just her placement in the company so far. Loving it. Asuka, almost freaking NXT Women's Champion for a whole freaking year, holding it down. Who the hell can beat this woman? My God, so much going into this match. I gotta be brutally honest. I thought for sure, man, we were going to be getting a new NXT Women's Champion, but it didn't go down like that. It did not go down like that. And I tell you, the story that was told, though, it brought about a new layer to the Asuka character. Let's talk a little bit about that. So pretty much final moments of this matchup, let's be honest, for the most part, there was, to a degree, respect shown girls to each other. But, I mean, when it got down to the nitty and the gritty, we saw Asuka do some shady stuff that was like, wait a minute. Damn, she going that route? She did that? So it creates a little bit of a new controversy and definitely leaves the window open for another rematch with these two girls going at it. So let's pick it up. So we saw Amber. She kept putting the offense on Asuka, but eventually Asuka catches her with a big German suplex from the ropes. Was only able to get a 2 count off of that. And the fans eating this up big time. I mean, they were really pouring their all into this, chanting for both girls. Honestly, they're going back and forth. Amber drops Asuka with a forearm, but she gets right back up. Amber hooks Asuka's legs, tries to do a suplex, managed to pull it off. Suplex her on her head, was only able to get another 2 count off of that. Amber tries to go for the top rope multiple times during this matchup. She was looking for the eclipse, but seemed like she kept getting denied. Something like Asuka just wouldn't stay put because she knew lights out if that joint had connected. We saw Asuka cut her off by climbing up. Amber counters and plants Asuka on her face. Amber goes for the eclipse, but Asuka pushes the referee into the ropes. This had caused Amber to fall. Asuka then nails a kick to the head, covers for the win. So some controversy there, man. I mean, when you really kind of stop and you think about how long Asuka has been the champion, you know, one of the first things that kind of click in your head, you don't think this girl's cheating, she's doing all this, you know, shady crap. But here was like a slight tear in her demeanor where it was like, this close, she was about to lose that title. And then that had went down. So I love the fact that this is going to be a continuation with these girls. I love it. I love it. I'm glad that we did not see the title change hands. I mean, there's honestly a part of me that wished the title did change hands because I'm such a big fan of, I know her as Athena, honestly. So I'm a big fan of her. There was a big part of me that really wanted to see her get the title pretty much WrestleMania weekend, but honestly, I'm fine with the new chapter that they're now going to be going with this respected matchup. By the way, some nice cameos that we saw tonight. I love seeing the cameo of Edge and Beth Phoenix. Edge looking a lot older now that he's kind of letting his hair grow back out, as opposed to 24 hours ago we saw it pinned up. I actually prefer it pinned up, but to each its own. And we also saw Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway, yes, at NXT TakeOver. I was actually quite happy to see him there. I mean, that took me by surprise. And I'm just kind of going, all right. You know, honestly, I hope that something good happens for Drew Galloway. I hope that maybe he's able to do something with the WWE down the road, because honestly, I always felt that was a guy, honestly, when I first looked at him, oh, God, he's money. But silly little bookings, 3-man band, I mean, just some weird crap that they were doing with him. And I think he honestly did pretty good for himself when he, you know, was released by the WWE. His run in TNA was fairly decent. I'll say fairly decent to a certain degree. It was decent, but what he was doing outside of TNA on the independent circuits, I actually was following that closely, and I was enjoying his journeys through those respective promotions more than his tenure in TNA. So I think now that he's gotten a little bit more seasoning, I think we can expect good things to happen to him. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with, at one point, you were on SmackDown, you were on Raw, and things didn't work out, you get released, and now you come back, and now you're innuendo. It's pretty much you're coming in through NXT. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I think, honestly, that's what needs to happen to a lot of these veteran talents that are on the main flagship shows that maybe are a little bit stale. I don't think there's anything wrong with them kind of going back to NXT, getting freshened up a little bit, not to mention it'll probably most likely sell more tickets at the gates for those NXT shows, live events, and all that. So I'm actually fine for it. I hope that the reintroduction of Drew Gallows, and let me tell you something, he could do some good things in NXT. He could do some really good things in NXT. I mean, we very well, with that cameo that we saw tonight, we very well could be seeing a future opponent for Bobby Roode. Remember, I was really high on Ty Dillinger. I still feel, honestly, Ty Dillinger, for the time and all that he's put in, yeah, I like to see him get that next opportunity to become NXT champion. But I'm also looking at a guy like Drew Galloway. He'd also be pretty good to slide. Oh, I said Drew Galloway. I apologize, guys. Drew McIntyre. I'd also like to see him slide in there. So we'll see what happens in due time. So we'll see what happens. All right, we got one more match to talk about. Let's go ahead. Let's close this bad boy out. Our last matchup, it was the it factor of professional wrestling, Glorious Bobby Roode taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. By the way, all the entrances that we got tonight, I mean, I'm just thinking offhand, probably the entrances that really stood out to me the most. Roode had a really good entrance. It was basically two girls playing pianos, doing his entrance, and then the real thing came on, and he's coming out looking like superstar Billy Graham. I'm not talking about the wrestler, man. I mean, it was just a combination of the Reverend superstar Billy Graham meets Steve Martin as that scammer of a reverend in Leap of Faith with the glitter and all that. I mean, just seeing Bobby Roode just come out there, glorious, and he's just nice big white light beaming down his ass and all that. I just was like, this is awesome. Like, he's got to have the one entrance that for the longest time, probably not since Y2J, have I come across an entrance like Bobby Roode's that every time I hear it, I get a big smile on my face. I haven't smiled that big since like I was a kid growing up in the Attitude Era. So it's nice to hear that music and just to see grown-ass men and women in attendance singing that song. It's nice to know that like me and you all watching are not the only ones that's like, that song is badass. That's a badass entrance. And yeah, great entrance, nice pretty white robe and all that. Shinsuke, I mean, he kind of had like a somewhat standard entrance. I mean, there was some type of a drape that was over his entrance coming from the gorilla position. It's kind of like enhancing his shadow figure. But there was really nothing special with that. But these guys had a really good matchup. Pretty much the story that was told with this match. Roode basically knew, man, I know you're still not at 100%. I know from the last time that we have faced each other, there's no way that your knee is 100%. I'm going to expose it. I'm going to do what I need to do. And he was digging down dirty, man. But, I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura in this match, approximately 28 minutes and some change. I mean, this was like your longest match. Great storytelling that had went into this matchup. I must say, both of these men, man, another instant classic. Let's pick it up towards the end of the match. We saw Roode. He managed to avoid a Kinshasa by going to the floor. They come back in. Roode nails the glorious DDT. That only had got him a 2 count. They did a little bit more back and forth. Crowd really getting into this bad boy. Roode ends up going to ringside, grabbing the timekeeper's bell, try to bring it back into the ring, but the referee was warning him, no, this ain't going down like that. No, I'm gonna freaking disqualify you. And like, now I got a bone to pick. So if Roode is telling the referee, hey, look, I got this bell, I'm going to use it, and the referee's like, no, don't do it, I will disqualify you, I'm kind of going, yeah, exactly. That's what Roode wants. So I just wish in that little instance, now, don't get me wrong, I'm not being critical here, overcritical, but like when you think about the in-ring psychology that we got for all the other matches, everything was pretty much on point. There really were no flaws. But when you came to this one, for me, like it didn't make sense to me that the referee's like, no, Roode, no, I'm gonna disqualify you. I'm gonna disqualify you. And it's like, yeah, exactly. That's what Roode wants. Instead, what should have happened, the referee should have said, like, and we should have been able to hear it as clear as day for us watching at home, and then the commentators reiterating, the referee should have said, no, if you do this, no, you're not going to do that. You do that, I'm not only going to disqualify you, but I'm going to put the belt on Shinsuke. So no, this ain't happening. So I just thought that was kind of silly. But other than that, we had saw the ref. He managed to take the bell from Rude, and then from there, Rude walks into a shot from Nakamura. So just think about that for a second. Typically, in a match like this, you got the heel wrestler. I got this bell. I'm gonna hit, and the referee's like, no, I'm gonna DQ. I'm gonna. It's like, okay, ref, okay, no problem. And then typically the referee, as he's taking that foreign object back, he's distracted, right? So typically, what does the heel wrestler do? He takes advantage of the referee now being distracted, and he goes and does a poke to the eye or a low blow or something. But no, that didn't even happen. That's what made this even more kind of like baffling to me a little bit. Is that after the referee takes the bell, okay, he's turning around, he's putting it out. We got Rude, he turns around and Nakamura just hits him. So, whatever. It was what it was. So Nakamura, he then hit the exploder. Nakamura tries to charge up, looking for that trademark Kinshasa kick again, but Rude catches him in a nice, pretty spine buster. Came in for another 2 count. Fans really eating this up. They continue to go at it, trading close calls. Nakamura had hit his knees. Nakamura hit the knees to the face of Rude at one point instead of doing the Kinshasa, but Rude kicked out of that. Finish, we pretty much saw Rude hit a big, glorious DDT from out of the corner to pick up the victory and retain his WWE NXT title. I mean, he did that bad boy in some really, really damn good fashion. By the way, we saw a plethora of new NXT titles for everybody, and they looked fantastic. Now, look, I gotta go there, especially considering the news that we got the past 2 weeks. I would imagine. Now, look. This probably actually did not happen, but come on, we need to have a hearty laugh after all. It's nice to kind of look at some of the news that's been happening the past couple of weeks and have a hearty laugh, right? So I'm just picturing the news with Paige and all that, and I'm just picturing Triple H and the crew. Yeah, disinfecting won't help. Good time to introduce some new titles. I'm just picturing Triple H just say, okay, you know what? Let's just be done with those versions, shall we? Just so it doesn't come off discriminating. We go on ahead and just do a clean sweep. All the belts, just get rid of them. I'm just like picturing that going down. But look, that probably didn't honestly happen, or maybe it did. Who knows? Only the shadow knows. Overall, though, fantastic NXT TakeOver event. I'm not ending the stream just yet. I want to show some love to you guys and get you all's reaction to what you had thought about it tonight. Let me know. Give me in the chat here. Let me know what you thought about the TakeOver event overall, and I'll just read through some of these comments we got coming here. I hope you've been enjoying the stream. If you have, definitely give it a thumbs up. Click on that thumbs up. Definitely post a comment, share, all that good jazz. I see Nolara, awesome NXT Orlando tonight. Trexter loved the main event that he saw. Yeah, I love that Nikki spot too, where she jumped on the face of Ruby. Yeah, I like that spot as well. That was a good spot. See what else we got here. Austin Haley, NXT announced after the show, Killian will be in the Andre Battle Royal tomorrow. Really? That is awesome. I'm glad. I always forget when it comes to these Andre the Giant Memorial matches. Yeah, they definitely need to properly show some love to some NXT guys. So I'm actually glad Killian's going to be in that. I hope Black, maybe, wishful thinking, that might be a bit overkill, especially right now, but I really would love to see Black in there as well. Let's see. Ambassador Rose, loving NXT TakeOver. It was awesome. Whoever is booking NXT matches, they need those people over to Raw. Well, remember, this is Triple H's pet baby, man. So a lot of what he's doing, I mean, it's pretty much his vision over there, man. So, I mean, the production, even the commentating. I'm still relatively new to Percy Watson, not the wrestler. Very familiar with his work as a wrestler from other promotions, but I'm still kind of getting a bit familiar with Percy Watson, the color commentator. But I gotta tell you, he's doing a decent job. I must say, I've enjoyed him. I miss Corey Graves, just not the same takeover event, and there's no Corey Graves. I really could have used his wittiness for this event, but it's all good. Let's see. Breaking news. Shout out to Trexter. Breaking news. ESPN is reporting that Drew McIntyre has signed with NXT. So I got my wish. That's great. That is fantastic. Rico should have told the ref that he could have said that he was going to strip him of the title, or else Regal says it on the microphone. I agree. I agree with that as well. There's so many ways you could have handled it, especially considering what happened, pretty much afterwards. Like, typically, that's usually what happens with a heel wrestler, man. Jeff, I dislike how the tag belts didn't get new straps and has similar style plates. I can kind of understand that. Hey, look, they still look good overall, though. I'm really enjoying the new designs overall. Still kind of similar to what was before, which is good. I'm happy that they didn't do too much of a drastic change. I'm glad that, like, you can still... Oh, that's the NXT title. I'm glad that they pretty much did it like that. And I like that pretty much all across the board. It's like, okay, this is the NXT title. Although I am going to miss that old design of the NXT women's title. I had grown like so fond of that design. I really, really did, man. And I'm with you, Laura. Yeah, I'm with you. DIY. Yes. SmackDown. I think they would do tremendously well on SmackDown. SmackDown needs like a huge facelift right now with their tag team division. As far as Raw goes, I mean, it's pretty jam-packed right now. Could you use a little bit of new blood over there? Yeah, you could. I mean, if it was me personally, I've been like advocating this for like a couple of years now. If it was up to me, I would have DIY go over to SmackDown. I'm not so sure I would have actually, you know what? You're saying DIY on SmackDown? No, I would actually have DIY go to Raw, believe it or not. I'll have DIY go to Raw because they can get some serious freaking buzz, I personally feel. And I would actually put the Revival on SmackDown. In my perfect world, though, it would definitely be... I want you to look this tag team up if you've never heard of them before. They've mainly been tearing it up in ROH and other wrestling promotions. But look up the Bloodbound Warriors. I would love for those guys to be on Raw, specifically for the tag team division. And for SmackDown, it would be the Revival. I mean, just what the Revival... I hear you. I hear Usos, DIY, American Alpha. Dude, I'm feeling more American Alpha Revival. I mean, that would be like an instant freaking classic right there. Or Revival, Usos. I mean, any combination, but yeah, we'd be here all night talking about those different combinations. But I'm with you guys, man. I'm definitely with you guys. So other than that, that's it. We can stick a fork in it. We're done, man. All right, so that's going to do it. Your next show is going to be coming at you in, less than 20-something hours, basically, because we're going to do Wrestlemania, the after show. If you have not entered the 2016 RCWR Show Awards, enter it right now. Cool prizes up for grabs. All you got to do is head on over to tinyurl.com/2016 RCWR Awards. You can enter. You pick. That's the beautiful part. There's no poll. You just go in, you pick who you felt had the match of the year, who's the performer of the year, all that good stuff, man. So get out there, cast your vote. A lot of cool goodies up for grabs. If you want to see the prizes that's up for grabs, it's on our YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you that maybe are new. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on all the great content do for you guys here on a weekly basis. And you can also support me on Patreon. Patreon.com/RCWR show. One more time, patreon.com youtube.com/RCWR show. That's going to do it. Shout out to everybody. Thank you all so much for checking out the live stream and your interactions. Shout out to those of you that's going to be checking this out, be it on the, I guess, on demand or through Epic. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. I definitely want to hear more from you all, especially that's going to be watching this on demand. Let me know what you had thought about this weekend's NXT TakeOver event. But oh, one more thing before I let you all go. Give me those likes, but before I let you all go, let me pull up real quickly the current results that we have right now, because I asked you guys straight up, what did y'all think of this weekend's NXT TakeOver event? Thumbs up or thumbs down. Right now, and this is our poll via Twitter, we got 6% of the votes coming in for thumbs down. Believe it or not, yes, thumbs down. And a overwhelming 94% are giving it a thumbs up. So keep the interactions going. That's going to do it, guys. Wishing all y'all to be safe, be kind to one another. I will catch you guys for WrestleMania, the after show. Be safe, be kind to one another. Take care.